Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this League A championship match between VRSmith and Haka. And I'm here joined by Juni, or Juniper? How do I call you?
Uh, Juniper, June. It's all good.
All
All
right.
of it's good.
Okay, I'll go with June, or because that's, I guess, the shortest one.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. And for VRSmith to win the championship today, uh, she needs to win at least 4.5, I believe. And
No, she only needs to win 1.5, right?
oh yes, she
Haka has to win
Haka
like
Haka
a
needs to
lot.
win 5, and VR Smith needs to win 1.5. Yes,
Yes,
I
and
reverted that.
if the game is decided at any point, they're just going to revert to a farrier cage match, I believe.
Oh, okay,
I
that's
think
cool.
that's what was said, but I'm not 100%. I'd have to check, but I think that was mentioned.
Well, I didn't hear that, but maybe we'll see when that happens, I guess.
Oh, I think it's in the news. Hold on. Yep, it's in the news section.
Oh,
So if it's determined at any point, they're gonna just go to the Farrier cage match.
right, cool.
So
I,
if you love Farrier, you should be rooting for VRSmith.
or maybe I guess Haka would have to win 5 in a row.
Yeah. Well, uh,
So that's
Haka would
not,
have
yeah, that's not
Haka would
going.
have to win five in a row if VRSmith won one game. Yeah.
Oh, that's not going to be much of a cage match if Haka wins 5 in a row.
No, but it would be an exciting match.
I know is I haven't heard anyone that say that they hate Farrier, but it doesn't actually exactly mean that everyone loves this card. Although I do love the card, so maybe everyone loves it anyway. But
All right, we're starting off with a fantastic board here. Looks very fast.
is it fantastic? Is it fast? I haven't had time to process it.
There's Seer. I see Seer draw is usually pretty good. There's Exorcist with Imp, which Seer will draw. There's Ghost stuff. There's Specialist stuff.
Yeah,
With Distant Lands and Wealthy Village. Wealthy
yeah.
Village will be a little hard to work with Specialist.
Um,
But
well,
if you have a cage in play and some setup with some duration loot, maybe you could make it work.
yeah. I think just putting one cage in play and having one silver is not too unreasonable on this board.
I mean, that's not going to be. I mean, that's just fancy. I don't know if it'll ever happen. It's more likely it'll be like a duration loot, probably. I can't imagine I want to play a specialist on a silver and then clone it. But
No, but why would you need to? What? You just
um,
it's
to do
just.
specialist wealthy village gain stuff. That's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
right. Yeah. Okay, I don't think we're gonna be doing it that way, but you can just buy wealthy villages for loot, and that's not too bad at all.
So, are we going exorcist or spice merchant here? That's kind of the main debate. I'm assuming
Um,
exorcist, but VR Smith seems to disagree.
I'm leaning Space Merchant because if we are using Sierra's draw, we really want to get rid of coppers and not so much estates. It would
Okay,
be,
that makes sense.
yeah, that would be some idea. No, Smith also instantly goes with a cage, which makes sense because we probably want to play with Wealthy Village and with loot, and doing that without a cage seems rather difficult.
Interesting. So going really thin is nice, but the seer draw is going to be an interesting balance, I think.
Right, it's a little difficult to draw a seer if we have a bunch of loots and wealthy villages in the deck. That is very true.
Yeah.
Haka opts to go for a silver instead.
Yeah, I don't hate silver and I don't hate cage either. They're very different building styles. I'm very curious to see which one will win. I like both of them. I think I would go for silver, honestly, but
Hmm.
that could easily be wrong.
Well, I was strongly inclined to think that Cage is the one that I want. But I guess you can draw Cage with 4 coppers, and then yeah, it's a little rough, as it happened to VRSmith.
Yeah. Usually, the reason I wouldn't open Cage here is because with cards like Seer, you can usually hyper accelerate a little bit faster, like with Wharf. So you can cycle a little bit faster with the Seer, and then get reasonably thin in a short amount of time while buying cards as well. But I mean, Cage is also just a one-shot chapel. I'm just underestimating Cage probably.
Yeah, Cage is very strong. I guess it is going to run into trouble when you need to green, because it will give those cards back into your deck. But if there are
It's not
four
that.
cof
It's not that bad though, because the Seer will just draw them.
yeah, and if there are 4 coppers, you can just get rid of them with Space Merchant over time.
Yeah.
I
VRSmith is very thin now. I expect another silver here. I can't imagine it'd be anything else.
I
And then you could start on the Wealthy Villages next turn,
I can
potentially.
see an Exorcist. I can see a Research because although we are thin, we have 3 estates in the deck, so it makes it really hard for us to hit price points.
Oh, maybe we'll see an Expedition here then. Expedition, Spice Merchant. Yeah. Oh, okay. Exorcist. That's fine too.
Yeah, and we can Expedition this turn maybe, and then play. No, that's kind of awkward, right? Because we only draw 7, and we'd like to draw 8. So maybe it's going to be a silver this turn from
And
VRSmith.
meanwhile, Hakha is a lot less thin than VRSmith. Hakha
And
looks in not a great position here.
yeah, Haka has not hit a price point this entire game.
Yeah, even with VRSmith's poor draw with the Cage, it's looking really ugly. I guess Cage really was just the open.
I I do think Haka had pretty poor draws as well, because not being able to hit 5 with Space Merchant Silver is quite unlikely, I think.
Mm, I don't know how often you hit 5 with Spice Merchant.
Yeah, I guess it is like a lot less likely than hitting 5 with Moat. You do
I mean,
have
it's
these.
easier to hit 5 than Cage Spice Merchant. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Veersmith only hit 5 for the first time now, a turn after
So,
Haka.
yeah, Sextant's pretty nice too. If you ever play with the ghosts, it's pretty nice. But, I mean, VRSmith looks to be really ahead right now. We do see the first Seer from. Who bought the first Seer? Haka, okay.
Haka.
Yeah.
A little awkward draw from Veersmith is you would like to get to this Exorcist, but you can't really trash the silver because then you're not hitting 5. So I guess she chooses this year as well. Oh, these. Um, I was gonna say these draws did not pan out, but that draw was actually completely fine. Just we drew all of our money anyways, and Veersmith is starting on Wealthy Villages, which seems very
Yeah.
strong.
It's looking bad for Haka here in game one.
Yeah, and Haka misses 5 again.
Yeah, that'll be a problem. All right, well, we learned something. Ice Merchant Silver is worse than Spice Merchant Cage. Oops.
Oh, and Haka grabs the cage now to be able to grab Wolfie Villages. Oh, that just can't be good.
Yeah.
Might be a correct choice at this point, but it is definitely admitting a mistake in the past.
Losing this quick almost might be good for Haka because, you just kind of shrug it off real quick. I mean, it's not good, but if this was like a painful, slow, hour-long loss, that might be a lot more demoralizing. So, I mean, this might be the best kind of loss to have if you're gonna lose. We'll see if Hakha can come back from this. It's looking hard, but I
Uh,
mean, Hakka's here for a reason.
yeah, the big problem for Hakka is with how good these loots are because they're not only the economy but also the draw with expedition.
Oh shoot, does VRSmith have a sword too? Yeah, oof.
Oh
That's gonna be
right, yeah,
I mean,
that's
it might not be that bad. It depends. Puzzle box is very nice, but the sword will counteract it. And you're getting sorted every turn here.
yep. Yeah, that cage was not exciting, that's for sure.
It might
Fierce.
have been forced, honestly. It's not like Hawkeye could get his hands on a gold, and what else treasure are you gonna get here? The cage was forced. You kind of had to get it for the wealthy village.
Yeah. This looks a little awkward for VRSmith, though, with because they will have to put the coppers back in their deck at some point. I
This
assume,
is
maybe not,
such an embarrassment of riches. The hammer can just get you harbingers, so now the seers are even better. Oh, now there's two hammers.
or
Man,
stowaways.
stowaways are fine too. Yeah.
No, VRSmith doesn't even choose to expedition because I assume she thinks you can draw the entire deck.
Hmm. I'm assuming you sack the merchant here now for an imp, or maybe you sack wealthy village for ghost.
Mm, I've
All right. You can kill copper, sack wealthy village for ghost. It'll trigger the stowaway, and then you get your wealthy village too. You already have the cage in place. So you don't care about the copper dying, actually.
I mean, I think I want to sack a wealthy village either way. It's just disturbing the seer draw. It doesn't really accomplish a whole lot.
Yeah.
Even if that's for an imp, if Haka thinks that the imp would be better than a ghost right now. Which I don't think it's the case, but maybe.
I mean, the only reason you'd want to really have a ghost is to proc specialist to gain mid-turn. So otherwise, I mean, you're drawing your deck. It's not like the ghost is that consistent. Like, you're already pretty solid at this point as Haka.
Yeah. I guess Haka could put a specialist in their deck, but
Yeah.
in order to hit with ghost, but there really isn't a way to guarantee that, right? Um,
There will
as
be soon when all the villages run out.
yeah,
VRSmith will probably empty them.
as I say that, the villages will run out next turn probably.
Mm-hmm. Haka might have to pivot to some weird distant lands thing, but VRSmith can just catch him doing that and follow, and I don't know. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
But I guess on the plus side, Haka has less junk on the cage, and VRSmith has more. I don't think it'll matter, but it is an advantage in quotation marks. It's not much, but I mean, you gotta hope for something.
Yeah, Veersmith struggled to draw here and will not be able to trash a um, wealthy village to an exorcist.
I
And you're
don't love this stowaway plan. I don't hate it, but I guess since you're not getting Sears, stowaway is just better.
it
I don't
does
know.
draw cards, which is pretty nice. Oh, and Veersmith gets to top deck it too for
I
when
don't know
Hack.
if you want to top deck these though. Do you? It just makes you more likely to dud, doesn't it?
Mm,
Yeah.
Veersmith top decks one. That's a pretty decent balance, I guess, because Haka does want a second ghost, I would assume. Maybe not.
Oh my. Oh my God. All right,
Oh,
Sorry, VR Smith might start choking on treasure right now. That's interesting.
oh, yeah. I wait. We didn't buy expedition here to fix. Oh, this looks scary. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
All right. I think Haka might claw back here slightly.
yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, in Haka's spot, you probably never gain a duration at this point because you just win by Veersmith dudding, and you saw one stowaway being top deck, so there is at least one, and there might be two.
Okay, Wisp on top. I don't know if I want Wisp on top. I might want a Specialist on top. Then you can do stuff like try to get distant lands in the same hand and clone it and do stuff like that. Maybe. I mean, I that's what would be on my mind here. With the insignia, you can guarantee specialist on top with distant lands. It's kind of slow
Yes.
though. You're already really behind on econ. You might have to just take the wealthy village here. But there should be enough game time at least.
What if
I
you
don't
take
see a third pile.
what if you take something like specialist in distant lands and you start copying distant lands?
Yeah, that's what you would have to do here as Haka, but
You
I don't
just
think you could do it here yet. You want that last wealthy village.
do you? Like you already have 12. It's like not a lot of economy, I guess, but that's a little
Hmm.
bit. I don't know. I'm just not convinced that like going for the wealthy village here and not starting to score is going to get us places. Is if we start to score, that might pressure VRSmith into needing to score as well, and VRSmith pops the cage, then that is trouble.
Okay, sword's not bad. That helps. Hmm.
Yeah, that helps quite a lot actually. As VRSmith does not have an out of being able to expedition out of whatever situation this ends up being. I hate these stowaway buys though. I just have to say that
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of just helps VRSmith really, because you even know that she top decked one of them if you were paying attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least VRSmith cannot expedition here for being able to draw, or she can, but that's not going to do anything. More likely than not. Figurehead does help though for the next turn,
Yeah.
and so does the sextant.
Do you think VRSmith might sack a doubloons here for a ghost?
Mm, I think I'd be sacking for an imp rather than the ghost in VRSmith's spot. Really struggling with deck control here. And if we're
Okay, that
doing,
makes sense.
yeah, yeah. And if we're doing that, might as well sack the silver. Although, actually, you might. Hmm. If it was an exact price point on Seer Devil Specialist, then I might have sacked the doubloons over a silver, just because I want that Seer draw to be a little better. It's probably wrong though.
So Haka doesn't even have more seers now. VRSmith has the same amount of seers, two specialists, a pile that's about to run out in stowaway, and now some deck control with the specialists. Haka does much more easily draw deck for now, but that was also his ghost turn. I expect double specialist distant lands here,
Mm,
or something like that, something to the effect.
yeah, I'm a little worried about the game ending if we do that,
I'm
but
not.
that's probably not in the cards, right?
You kind of have to play for something like that. And my thought is you can specialist the distant lands, gain it, and then specialist the distant lands, gain it, and maybe play even up to three distant lands. It could help. That's kind of my thought process here,
Yeah.
because gotta threaten something here, and you really want the specialists. But this line with Seer, it just lowers piles. It doesn't really threaten scoring. Do you have to province here now? It just seems worse than taking specialist. You really want to maximize that your possible better deck control here, I think. Maybe
Yeah.
distant lands here, but now you're only playing two distant lands. And the Seer, I don't know about the third Seer.
I mean, the two distant lands plus like a province is probably threatening enough to keep you in the game and force these coppers back into VRSmith's deck.
this is just distant lands. I mean,
Yeah,
I imagine this is just distant lands.
I mean, if Haka builds here, I think VRSmith can just threaten the pile out in such a way that Haka can't really do anything about it. Or it's just
Alternatively, you could take another specialist, plan on playing them on loot. Maybe VRSmith gets greedy on the stowaways, and then what? You have 2, 4, 5 buys. That's not enough to do anything reasonable with estates, for example. You'd
yeah.
have to keep the spice merchant, and then it's only 6. It's not good enough either.
I mean, you can maybe do something on Sears, but like that is so much money that like VRSmith can just get away with buying like one green card, and that stops any Sears shenanigans you could do.
Yeah.
Tough spot.
In a situation like this, I just look at VR Smith's deck. I just know that she's going to win in the long game, so Haka has to start racing, which is why I like this distant lands here. We'll see what. Okay. Why are we panicking? Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's an odd top deck. Oh, actually, no, it's not, because you top deck the special. Okay, I'm sorry.
no, it's still odd a little bit, right? Because like you want to do the specialist distant lands thing, but that's your scoring, so you'd much rather do that after you drew deck, I would think.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, it's probably still worse to top deck it.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather top deck neither and try to find draw cards at the top. They do disrupt Seer, so maybe that's Haka's thought process that he wants to draw with Sears more.
So the hammers easily empty the stowaways for VR Smith. VR Smith could lower the Sears here. Kind of has to find them. Won't find them here. The top decked card here is a stowaway. So VR can't. VR would have probably had a win here with better draws, yeah.
Yeah.
Which probably would not have. I'm not sure. Maybe it would have happened anyway if Haka had not taken the third seer.
With these draws, I mean, I still feel pretty good about just playing this wealthy village, specialisting some loots, and playing for stowaways. I feel like that's a drawn deck. So we can just buy
Probably.
some provinces and like pretend like everything's fine.
Yeah. Not getting sorted here helps Haka a lot. VR Smith could play for an estate pile out next turn, maybe. So you got to calculate whether or not Haka in his best draws could outscore you somehow or win. And you could
Yeah.
do some maneuvering here with the estate pile out next turn and all of the buys and the specialist. It's gonna be so much draw here. Just have to calculate that and make sure you're safe.
I mean, don't you just like double province and then you're safe 100%
Yeah.
of the time? Mm.
Yep.
And with that, you can throw in like a spice merchant or whatever into your deck because you'll have 4 coppers in your hand. Oh wait, you'll right. Those coppers will go back to the deck because of the sword. That's a little awkward.
Will they go back? Oh yeah, they will go back to the deck. I mean, there's Will-O-Wisps with Seer, and there's 2 Seers in the 7 cards. It's not that annoying. I mean, it's annoying, but Smith is triggering this shuffle to prevent that from happening somewhat. I'm assuming this is just double province.
Yeah, one province is probably not sufficient with Haka being able to play double distant lands, so probably have to.
Yeah. All right, Haka. What can we do for you? Kind of have to score with the lands here. Why not buy another cage? Because the game is close to ending.
Yeah,
The cage is just kind of a stop card.
yeah, and these
And if you're not
coppers,
playing, yeah, they're
these
gonna be
coppers will not.
discarded.
Yeah, they don't stay in hand. So, since like you're just going to draw them and be a little sad about it. I mean, I think the game ends next turn anyway.
I think so as well.
Or maybe it ends this turn if Haka has something.
I don't see anything. I see 3 buys. What are you doing with 3 buys?
Not much.
Triple province. I mean, you really want to use your ghost.
You can't even triple province. We have nowhere near enough money for that.
Can't even. No. Kind of need more distant lands here. Kind of have to buy one.
Well, not doing that. No, we're just deleting the ghost. Yeah, makes some sense. We're just hoping for what. The problem that I have with this play is even if VRSmith somehow duds, like what are we doing on the next turn?
It doesn't even really matter that much because I think VRSmith with a lucky enough draw could just end it on estates and stow away, maybe. Well, maybe not. The hammers can gain estates. But yeah, it's a little too many gains. It is a bit of an awkward position here now. VRSmith can't take 2 provinces, so you just take one.
She can probably take
Hakha has.
4.
I don't know if she can take 4.
Oh, that's awful. Seeing those cards revealed.
Actually, maybe we're close to it already. This might be it. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Oh, we're literally one off. One off a
Mm.
win here.
Do we just do the triple province duchy estate? Does Haka ever come back from that?
No, there's only 3 buys here.
Oh, right, right.
6, 12, 18, 19, 20. You can gain 20. Sorry, not 20 points. You can, yeah, 20 points. You can get 20 points here. You can get 2 hammers for 2 estates. So you would have 32 points. Haka would have 3 buys and $16.
Mm,
Maybe a little bit more with the loot. You can get to 19 and 4 buys. Is that enough to stop?
that is no 19 and 4 buys is 1 coin off for Haka.
Yeah. Did they buy more money? They didn't. Hammers would make estates if you wanted to protect and take triple province here. But specialist being played on figurehead tells me that she's not worried. Whoa!
What?
Wait, we're double provincing here? If Haka doubles, it's over.
What?
That's such a weird play.
Did we not misclick like a province or something? I don't understand.
VRSmith must think Haka can't draw deck here. I mean, maybe not.
Mm.
I don't know about that though. It's not like Haka could end the game if VRSmith only took 1 province. Haka couldn't really take 2.
Well, Haka is not going to draw deck, so I guess that is going to work out. But like that is crazy to me.
$14. I mean, Haka is only 2 off of just winning here. That was really risky.
Yeah, like this copper could have been the specialist that was on the top, and that would have been it.
Yep. I'm very confused by that. This game was like over turn 8 realistically, and just through something. Hakha at least made a game of it, which is just astounding to me.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
VRSmith took way too much loot. She choked, and well, her deck choked rather, and Hakka's more nimble deck at least made a game of it. I think Hakka could have maybe even won if he was a little more precise with the specialist stuff. Maybe.
Mm.
Maybe what he did was the best line. I mean, I'm not at his level anymore.
Yeah,
So,
not at that level yet either.
yeah.
So very difficult to judge.
Now we're in a spot where you can't really take province, but you kind of have to.
Mm.
I mean, there is a lot of junk in VRSmith's deck. You kind of have to pray for a dud here.
I
But it,
I feel like a lot of duds for VRSmith are like a single province or like a province duchy, though.
mm-hmm.
So I don't think you can take the province if you're trying to win. I think you have to take like two duchies or something.
Yeah, maybe. Probably, actually, yeah. I mean, you can't even triple duchy, you just double duchy.
Yeah.
Do you take a distant lands?
I feel a little doubtful about my ability to play the distant lands next turn. I mean, we do have two stowaways in place. It's not the worst.
You might have to hope it works. I mean, I mean, it doesn't really matter. VRSmith's very likely to just double.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there is a combination of cards that VRSmith could draw here actually that doesn't province. So I don't think you can take a province. Actually, VRSmith has an 8-card hand. That's just... It's probably all not very likely
You
to win.
don't. You just need to make sure not to take any duration cards in case VRSmith has one in hand. That's
Yeah.
just gotta not do that. The two distant lands. I mean, it's probably fine. I mean, I don't think it matters much.
Yeah, there is a chance that Haka knows what exactly VRSmith's hand is. Yeah. Haka should know that the sword is happening. Okay, we're not buying the distant lands.
Are we fearing a three pile? I feel like double province is easier than a three pile at this point. If you can three pile, you can probably just double province.
VRSmith does have quite a bit of hammers in the deck, but
Also,
no, that
also the info leak knowing. Well, no, there's no info leak. Never mind. I don't know what I was. I thought distant lands was a duration for a second. I don't know what I'm saying.
it has
Never
a
mind.
very similar color.
Yeah. Silver might be fine here because the seer can draw it, and you kind of need a long shot like that. Maybe Harbinger is better than silver. Yeah, it probably is. There are some worlds where you could seer Harbinger top deck something you had to discard, and it helps.
Haka buys an expedition. Well, there is a sword in VRSmith's deck, and Haka could know that that there was a sword.
I don't think a sword's an argument against expedition necessarily. The expedition just helps you find a better four card hand mostly. Like
Hmm.
your four card hand here of Imp, Seer, Will-O-Wisp, Specialist is it doesn't matter. The wins in hand here pretty much. It's
Yeah.
over.
Right. A
Yep.
little bit. Yeah. A
A
little. Yeah.
very shaky play from VRSmith after the opening.
Yeah. It's great opening and a little bit of a awkward situation in the middle there, but eventually got to the end.
Yep. So first win goes to VRSmith. Now Haka has to win 5 in a row to stave off the Farrier cage match.
And to be and to actually win the championship, which is this is all for.
Yeah. Oh, that's a long loading time.
Yep. I hope we're not gonna have any server issues.
That would be nice. Right now the board is nothing, which favors Haka. So doesn't really favor Haka. I'm gonna refresh and see if that helps.
Yeah, I also refreshed
Okay,
and
I got kicked.
yeah.
It looks like something happened.
Well,
Oh, they just refreshed the board entirely. Okay,
yeah,
so yeah, if anyone's listening, just refresh. The server probably restarted or something. All right, we got infirmary, garden. Oh, governor.
governor.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well,
We got governor and we got Destrier, which it probably doesn't come into play. There's Market Square. Destrier can actually come into play as a secondary target. Where
yeah.
does she? Yeah.
But what cards are you gaining realistically?
Mm. Nah,
Not too
that's a little
many.
tough. I mean, maybe golds.
Destrier might get to 4 or 3, but I don't think it's getting lower than that until it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just governor stuff.
Oh,
So you
it could
build for
be.
really big infirmary, basically.
Uh, yeah. Actually, as VRSmith, I would consider taking Infirmary on a 4-free. It's just so good on the 4-free.
I don't know. I'm not huge on infirmary open actually from my testing.
Hmm.
I'd almost rather open dungeon silver and just go for like 5 or 6 somehow. Actually, 6 would be no 6 is possible with dungeon.
Yeah. It's
Right, dude.
And then there's even Way of the Turtle. You could set up a dungeon and just Way of the Turtle the dungeon. If you have like 4 coppers in hand, you could dungeon it and do something else. And then infirmary. We'll see what happens. So they're both opening infirmary, which actually I would try not opening infirmary.
hmm.
But that's just been my experience playing that delaying infirmary a little bit and hitting a big price point. It's kind of like Doctor. It's just really, really good. But that's irrelevant now. It could be wrong even. I haven't played with it too much.
Yeah, I've been a fan of it on the 4-free, but I did tend to draw it with a state right after that, which VRSmith is not doing.
4 here is awkward.
Yeah, it's just one of the frees, either dungeon or market square.
Yeah, it could be silver. Silver's fine too.
Oh yeah, true. That does get you to governor, more likely than any of these other ones.
Yeah, it's very easy to like say, all right, I'm just gonna get a gold off of a market square trash, and yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen here anyway. But silver's fine. You can always remodel it into a governor too. That's
Yep.
not a bad option to take a silver.
VR Smith has drawn this dungeon dead for, is it a second or a third time in a row? Only second time.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Yeah, do you? Hmm. I guess let's look. This is probably governor, right? Oh, it's Destrier.
No,
Hmm.
no, I think it's Destro. Usually, I don't like taking governor with my first 5 if there's something better on the board because the first governor is a little shaky.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna draw. Well, then you'd want the Destrier, and then are you gonna trash with it? Well, what are your trash targets? And gaining gold is maybe the worst option of all because you'd rather have the silver than the gold because you could remodel the silver.
Yeah, at that point, yes.
Plus, you already have golds with the market square, so I like the Destro.
Hmm. Barbarian is not on the power level where you'd consider it in this kind of kingdom.
No, it's way too slow. And yeah, it's way too slow.
Yeah. No. Yes, VRSmith does get to take all the golds. Do you take all the golds? A little.
I don't think so.
Oh, you could.
Yeah,
Wait, you can do
VR
that?
Smith. VR Smith's doing Way of the Turtle chains. No, VR Smith Way of the Turtle the market square the last turn.
Yeah, I was surprised that you can do that. I did not realize that you can like the reaction to the market square
Oh
allows you to
no,
weigh
I
it.
don't. No, she didn't do it that way. She had the action from a Way of the Market Square. Sorry, Way of the Turtle on Market Square previous turn.
Oh, okay.
She did that so she could play Infirmary and still have recourse if she draws dead.
Oh, all right.
Um, Hopper 2 Destrier. That looks really good to me, actually. I
Yeah, it
actually
looks
really
really
like that
solid.
line.
Wait,
I like that line a lot.
I do not want that copper in the deck though, but no.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think I prefer this. This I think the copper does more harm to the deck that this year does good.
Maybe. Where's Geronimo when you need him to calculate the odds? Um, Someone's got to find him. I still would want a couple more Destriers just for a little more deck control.
Yeah. Hakha is in the same spot as VRSmith was last turn.
Yeah,
Where you could take copper
yeah,
double Destrier.
which I do. I'm still partial towards, but this is pretty safe. I just don't think the market squares do anything. I
Mm.
don't think they're worth taking. I'd just rather have two Destriers than one. You can always Infirmary overpay again if you're really worried about trash.
Oh right, that is an option. That is
Like
an
if you hit
option.
10,
Yeah.
you could always just Governor take Infirmary trash too. It's probably fine.
Yeah. I mean, it is an option for VRSmith like here, right? We could play the
Yeah.
two golds, overpay free for infirmary, trash the free coppers, and maybe pick up some golds while doing that.
I don't think you do that here, but I think you would play the market square. If you had a hand such that you could gain a bunch of golds and make Gesture really cheap, I could see doing that, but not yet, I don't think. This is $9. I'm assuming we're gonna turtle the infirmary here. Because it doesn't make much of a difference to play it now or next turn. It's just better next turn.
No, VRSmith is going for the infirmary
Okay.
play.
Okay.
Hmm. She did not find a market square, unfortunately.
It's okay. There's gonna be a lot of market squares in this hand.
Yep.
Question is, how many golds do you really want? Maybe one? So Haka now. Haka now might want to actually do the infirmary thing back.
Nope, not concerned. Unless we're gonna undo these treasure plays.
I like starting to go into the governors as well. It's feeling about time.
We do have a lot of copper in the deck, so I'm not sure.
This is an ugly shuffle to trigger. I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, I definitely wanted to turtle that.
It's not a huge deal because of the dungeon, but it is a little ugly.
Oh wait, are we pseudo trashing those cards with the double dungeon? Or well, with I guess we would need to pick up a second dungeon for to be able to do that.
This will be Governor Destrier, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
New market squares.
Hmm.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna empty that. Okay. No governor though. Still
Yeah, I do
very
wonder what's
interesting.
going on.
I don't think it's bad. It's just interesting. I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of industriers.
Are we actually like is VRSmith actually playing for governors here, or is there something going on that I'm missing? Right. I don't think there is a pilot, right?
If there was, it would be estates probably.
Yeah. I don't really see how that happens. I don't think VRSmith has enough market squares for that.
No, VRSmith can't have more than 6.
Hmm.
Ties are good. That is true. Playing for a tie is a little weird. It's like playing not to lose. It just makes you
Yeah.
have poor decisions. You gotta go for the throat. Not unreasonably,
Yeah.
but
I do think you only play for a tie when you see the tie that you can take.
yeah, more or less. I mean, whatever. It's
Yeah, I don't think this is any like playing for a tie that VRSmith is doing. It's just getting a bunch of destriers before doing any of the governor stuff.
double governor, copper, destrier. Maybe? I don't know. I don't think so.
I would like to not have these coppers in my deck as Hakha.
Yeah, I don't want these coppers either. There might even be a market square in there.
Yeah.
That won't matter that much. I kind of just want more destriers, honestly. Could I do something weird like take a lighthouse or a native village and get 2 destriers that way?
Mm. No, it has to be a copper, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so
Hmm. Okay.
okay,
So double
copper,
destrier then. Yeah.
copper double
If
dish.
I'm taking a copper, I want double destrier. Double governor copper destrier doesn't sound as good to me.
Mm, probably. I'm a little worried about the number of buys that VRSmith has in the deck. I don't think she can do a whole lot with them.
Not yet.
No, I guess Haka did calculate that VRSmith only has 7 buys.
This top card is not a market square. It's not an infirmary. It might be dungeon. I'm not. Oh no, it's not. Hakka has 2 dungeons. So it's either a gold or a copper or another destrier. It really can't be anything else.
Mm. It's probably a
Not
Destrier.
It probably is. Yeah. We're gonna $15, $16, and
Mm.
7 buys.
I mean, is it that just triple governor?
Oh, it's Market Square. Wait, VRSmith has 7
Oh.
Market Squares. Oh my god.
Oh. Okay, that is scary because that opens up estates.
Oh my god. So province. You have to take province now. You're going for the estates. That's like a huge buy signal on the estates for Hakka. Like, whew, you gotta go for that now.
How does Haka do anything about this?
Hakka can't contest the estates, so it would have to be multiple provinces here,
Yeah, it needs to be.
which is not looking good. And let's not forget, VRSmith got the extra gold, so VRSmith actually has $18 currently.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad. Wow. Very interesting, like, pivot plan from VRSmith. I didn't expect the estates to run
Hmm.
so quickly. Wow. Just the threat of the estates is really not something I expected to happen. Maybe I should have given plus buy on a
Yeah.
cantrip and destrier, but I'm very surprised that the game ended up this way.
Yeah. I guess we were all playing the governor board while Vera Smith was playing a Market Square Destrier board. Really?
I'm not sure on this market square play either. You might want to infirmary, copper trash, gain a gold here, because you kind of want the gold. Wow, Haka didn't trash more than 1 copper. That's surprising.
Well, this does beat the threat of estates,
Yeah,
but
it
it also
does.
it also doesn't beat
Smith has the better deck, though.
yeah, it also doesn't beat governor trash gold for province gain another gold and
What's
two
fascinating to me
estates.
is VRSmith is simultaneously the rush and the beatdown, kind of.
I yeah, I
Because
think
with
it's
all of
just
this draw, she wins long game and she wins the short game too at the estates. It's crazy.
I think it comes down a lot to the infirmary trash. Like Haka still has 6 coppers in the deck, while VRSmith has 0.
Duchy 8 estates in hand.
Is it
I'm only
in?
seeing $15.
Oh, it is in hand. You can play the market square, triggering the shuffle. Then you turn the infirmary into a duchy, and then you play another infirmary.
And kill province?
No, you don't have to kill with infirmary. It says you may trash.
Oh, may. Yeah. Oh, yeah, then it's in hand.
Oh, this is
Ooh,
different.
didn't see it, or the golds aren't there, and chat is lying to me.
Uh, w-
One or the other.
we talked about how there was 18 gold in VR Smith's deck,
Yeah,
right?
there are 2 golds in there. Okay, I mean, it doesn't matter. VRSmith still has a lot of a lot of power here.
Oh, I guess we can just draw the golds and tie with the states, and we win the match.
Yeah, maybe VRSmith saw the win and is just calculating the tie to be fancy. That's also very possible.
Would be very funny.
No,
Oh, we're just going to go for the win. That could backfire.
VRSmith's not playing that sharp today, especially after like the last game and now this game, where we're missing tactics. Interesting. Well, I mean, it makes Haka have some chances here. I mean,
Right.
this That's what you need is Haka.
Yeah, maybe VRSmith just does not realize that they could win with 1.5. Maybe they didn't take that
I,
close
I
enough
think
look at the
she
standings. I don't know.
I think she knows. I'm sure she knows that a tie would win here. All right. Can Haka somehow take 4 provinces? Is the next question because I'm not even sure that he can.
Probably not, given that he has two governors and just a lot of stuff in the way in his deck.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Maybe if you governor remodel one of the destriers and somehow have $24 in hand. I don't know. Come
Uh,
on.
How are we drawing the deck?
Yeah, that's kind of the debate. We don't even have $24. Not even
Oh
close.
no.
I don't. No, you wouldn't need $24. I'm sorry. You would just need $16, which is still not enough.
Actually, if we trash the Destrier into a province, gain 2 golds, then draw the other governor, how's that look?
Not enough. Drawing 2 golds is harder than hitting 16. Sorry. Drawing 2 golds to hit 24 is worse than trying to hit 16. It would just be worse. There's no win here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There are 4 golds in hand. Where? Yeah, it's not enough.
Now can you win? You really? All right.
So what do
Next
we
turn.
do here? We would have to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not enough. No. I was thinking maybe you could trigger the gold gain off of one market square, pray for a gold draw. That's not enough still. It's not even close. VRSmith's hand looks rotten.
Yeah. There is a dungeon in play, and there is a turtle infirmary.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're gaining 1 province, killing a Destrier. Maybe. No. Okay.
We gained 1 province. We're hoping that VRSmith can do 3 provinces or a state still. Oh, I guess we're playing around the states, which doesn't actually play around the states.
No. It doesn't.
Oh well. It's just a tough spot for Haka, I
It's
guess.
18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. This
Yeah.
win in hand right here. It's over. All right, Farrier cage match. I mean, come on, VRSmith's not going to miss this. It's too easy.
Surely not. And she could miss it if she didn't stop, but
Yeah. All right, VRSmith is your new League A season whatever champion. I forget.
62, I think, is the number. Yeah, 62.
Okay.
All right.
4 more games to go now. It's the Farrier cage match. Unless they decided to not do it. I'm assuming they're going to mention it. It was in the news. It was in the news tab.
It has to happen if it's in the news.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is
But they-
happening. They just didn't mention it. But the farrier is on the table.
Okay. All right, there it is. The Farrier cage match has begun. And what a horrible board to start it on.
There is farrier, there is spices. It's probably gonna end pretty fast.
Farrier Spices training on Farrier looks really nice. Looks really nice, actually.
Yeah, but with training on farrier, they might run quicker than you would like it to.
So, is this like a Farrier Gardens rush of some kind? It's because the Farrier has buy on it, and you can just blitz out the coppers and really rush down. There's a lot of potential for that, and there's Messenger too. There's this is kind of a. I mean, this is a miserable board no matter how you slice it, but
So,
there's Armory too. Maybe you just wow. Okay.
I mean,
There's
maybe you could.
Cabin Boy too, so you can top deck a Cabin Boy, get training on Farrier somewhat whenever you're ready with Cabin Boy stuff. Oh man,
I, that
Haka's opening Crossroads, which is a little funny.
it makes sense with Farrier, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're already lost. You just go full experiment mode. You have fun. I mean, the Crossroads seems worse than Silver to me, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's fine. Maybe the plan is to like hit a freak expand somehow. I don't know how. If that's probably not even possible. But
Well, VRSmith just hit expand out of buying his opening, what, Silver Expedition?
yeah, very lucky. Incredibly lucky, even. It's not even clear expands the card there. Like you could easily get other stuff instead. Like you could. There's so much stuff you could do here. I don't even. I mean, whatever. It doesn't. VRSmith will probably expand his state into spices, bonfire these coppers, probably something like that. Hakha here has to like probably Farrier overpay again, which means we're what? Meaning a cabin boy on top?
We could buy the spices and hope that we hit 7 of that.
I'm not even like thinking about expand here. I still want to do the gardens thing. Like maybe that's what Hakha wants to do because Hakha did open the armory.
No, yeah, I
Like
mean, you could. How you would do that? You would gain a second crossroads here, I guess, and buy a Farrier? As I don't think you can start gaining gardens immediately, right? That just
no,
sounds too much.
not immediately. No, you'd want to get a bunch of armories and farriers and
I mean, I don't think you can play with a bunch of armories because crossroads is your draw, right? So you have only what is it?
well,
Three.
if you get a nice draw with Crossroads Armory Crossroads, you can gain and play with an armory.
Yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, well, we didn't win the prize. That's okay. I would just Farrier overpay again. Like I don't care.
I I think I would have probably gained the crossroads instead of gardens there.
I like the gardens. It helps the Crossroads draw. You already have two. You have one guaranteed on top. And you can do more armory mid-turn gain stuff like
Now,
now, yeah. Now would be exactly the time to do it. I actually really like Haka's deck. I bias, but I love this.
it is a
This
very
card is
cool
awesome.
deck.
Yeah. So I'm assuming we're gonna get an armory here. Oh, whoa! What are we doing?
Well, we're gaining. We can still draw it with the Farrier, and that was never gonna draw more.
Okay. I would have
It's.
thought you wanted to armory gain a little bit
I mean, you can do
earlier.
armory gain armory, and
What is the purpose of Haka's deck? Well, one to have fun, two to go for gardens. I mean,
yeah. The
it looks
problem that
pretty
Haka's
dumb.
deck has is that it only ever has 7 coins.
That's not true.
Oh, we could buy copper, I suppose.
Yeah, but we could also just put training on Farrier.
But then we don't draw deck if we do that. Then everything collapses, I think.
Yeah, you do it at the right time. Like Charlatan just kind of helps Haka, I think,
Yep.
with the gardens. Yeah. I don't know about Charlatan from VRSmith. It's a little presumptuous. VRSmith has not played base set in a while, which can actually get totaled by gardens. I haven't played base set in a while either, so who knows? Um,
I haven't played base set at all, basically. So
yeah,
I I think I like armory gain armory. Draw the
yeah,
armory gain gardens.
that seems like the logical line. Could be a cabin boy too. Just have even more money to farrier again next turn. I mean, that's probably what he's thinking about. Stuff like that. Could be
Yeah,
messenger as well. Messenger is fine. It's an extra buy. I mean, no, it's just armory. Armory's better.
yeah. The terminal space is too limited, I think.
Yeah. And I think you're gonna start thinking about buying coppers pretty soon already. Maybe not this turn, but pretty soon.
I don't want to ruin your dreams, but what happens if VRSmith just buys 3 or 4 farriers next turn?
Then VRSmith isn't doing anything, and you get an extra turn to do a bunch of stuff.
I guess. But the gardens are not anywhere near empty, so I'm a little worried for what would happen to Haka's deck.
Hako would have 2 armories. Okay, Captain Boy. I think I'd prefer armory. This is okay though.
Ooh, I don't like buying a crossroads.
It's okay, but yeah, it's okay though. Gardens are about to be 2 points for Haka. One card away. Playing the Charlatan will score a net 0 points. The Charlatan is weird, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think VRSmith expected to see Haka's deck do what it does.
Really? That was like the first thing I thought of. I don't know.
I don't think
I feel
it's
like
like super obvious.
yeah, maybe. Maybe it's not obvious. Maybe it's even wrong. That's why I want to do it because it's fun. Um, there's another crossroads in there.
Yeah, I would be fine to just gain the gardens and go again with Farrier.
Yeah, $7. Train Farrier while you can. You can just train Farrier next turn. I mean,
I think
there's no rush.
yeah, I think you can trade them when they run out.
Yeah, I would want as many Farriers as I can get my hands on. Maybe even buy a copper here.
Don't hate it.
It might just be time. And then the third pile would presumably be estates or something, which should be a lot easier with a bunch of farriers in your hand that are also trained. But I'm assuming VRSmith denies farriers now. Double province from VRSmith is also a possibility.
Mm. I would like to train the Farriers as VRSmith here, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
train farrier, do some kind of overpay, and just deny the farrier seems like a fine line. Yeah.
yeah. We're not concerned about scoring just yet.
Yeah, the decks are about to get a lot worse.
Non-functional, in fact.
Yep. Which makes me think that the Gardens is a little better. But VR Smith can deny some Gardens. Okay. Do we take the Armory now?
Mm, probably. I think he
And then
wants
we can.
2 in this deck, right? So,
Yes, easily.
yeah. So, If you do want that, then this is the moment.
There is a world where you might take messenger here, but if you don't draw any money, you only hit 9, which is not 10. So, oh, another cabin boy.
Uh,
Uh,
I'm not a fan just because the
it's
money is
not
a lot
lowering the
less
pod.
useful too, right?
Yeah, it's a lot worse. I mean, there's some tricks you can do, trashing cabin boy for cabin boy, but that's not a pile you want to lower. You want to hit the gardens and the estates.
Yeah. I mean, the curses will run out at the pace that this has been going.
Yeah, that's possible too. Can VRSmith just empty the gardens here? It's $24. No. Yeah, it is $24.
Mm,
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2019, 6, 12, 18. I think VRSmith could have gotten really close to just emptying the gardens here and just taking away any hope of Haka winning.
yeah, I think VRSmith is more interested in playing some spices money.
Yeah.
Why is Haka buying a bonfire in his
I don't
gardens deck?
know. What are we doing? I guess Haka just now is just assuming that what he's doing isn't working, but this is just worse. It's like pressing the gas and brake pedal at the same time in your car.
Yep.
You kind of have to commit to this plan. Now it's definitely over.
Yeah, now the plan is definitely not working.
That's too bad.
We we
I
want
mean,
to gain the
whatever. It's
gardens.
all for fun.
Yeah.
This is this is all part of the plan.
Are we gonna bonfire more? Oh, we are. Okay.
Oh my god! Wow. Okay. So Haka must think that like Crossroads Green is the way to go here, and then using the farrier training. I don't like it, but
I
whatever.
I just don't think it gets anywhere.
It doesn't. No.
Like even if VRSmith wasn't doing anything, I don't think it gets anywhere is the problem.
Yeah. We're not even buying copper. Like, I mean, we're trashing them. Like, what are we doing? Oh,
Yeah, at least it's consistent, right?
win in hand. Yeah, close to it, if not already. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15.
That works.
Yeah, that works. All right. All right, Haka, you disappointed me. I wanted you to go for the gardens. Uh,
It's a very strange one though.
yeah. Oh, this one's really funny.
All right. I see investment that does things. Suka's like really good, but the problem is it's not good with
The score
Farrier.
is 3-0. VRSmith is your champion. Um, yeah. I don't think investment is that relevant here, honestly.
Yeah, I was just looking for the things that interact.
Like, if you could gain and play investment with the rogue, sure, but that's not really gonna happen. There's no village here.
Yeah.
You're building to dominate mostly.
How are we building here? Uh, the
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
the only draw is Farrier and Magpie.
I think I want a replace more than I want to open Sue as Haka. And then VRSmith can Stonemason for 2 replaces, which looks pretty good to me. Looks really good to me, actually. Then you can kill a state and a magpie. Yeah, I think you just Stonemason for 2 replaces and buy a farrier for free. Why not?
Haka opts to play with Sook, but like Sook is
Okay.
really awkward here.
VRSmith took a magpie open. Interesting.
Hmm.
I know VRSmith hates taking curse with curse gold, but it is double replace. I feel like that is at least worth considering. Magpie investment.
And Magpie is the only card that draws cards that is in the deck. So I guess you would want some of those. But it's also not going to be very good at drawing cards, so I'm not exactly sure. That's just a strange kingdom.
Uh, aren't the curses from replace really brutal with Island? Actually, it's kind of annoying to deal with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean you could buy Sooks maybe,
yeah, you
but
can.
that's not exactly good for your deck to be buying Sooks.
Okay, we see the first replace from VR.
Yeah. Yes, Haka took an investment to deal with the curses.
That's fine. I think one investment's okay. I don't know about more investments though. I don't know. It might be okay.
I mean, it's clearly our plan to deal with the curses, and we're hoping that Magpies will draw them. But like throwing a bunch of farriers into our Magpie deck that we're relying on Magpies to draw is not ideal.
So we're killing Stonemason presumably.
Getting an island, I would assume.
I almost think Magpie.
Oh, maybe it. There. Oh, or we can
That's
do
okay.
that.
That's okay too. You can
Yep.
kill Sue into stuff with the Stonemason.
Yep. Oh, did
I
we?
don't I don't think the points are that worth it for investment right now. I know Hako is thinking about it at least.
Yeah, that certainly looked like it. Since Haka doesn't have a replace, do you just skip it altogether with 4 curses only in the pile now? And just like take a curse of this cursed gold and buy a farrier or something?
It feels bad to skip replays. It feels really bad to skip replays.
I mean, at this point as Haka, you just take all the curses basically, no matter what you do. Unless you pick up a replace here at least, I guess. Oh, right,
You're
that
kind
is
of
true. What Russ is saying, Farrier Magpie Curse will just empty.
yeah. I was thinking about piles maybe running with the replaces, but again, I'm kind of surprised at how quickly it's happening.
Yeah. I assume VRSmith is just going to do a little bit of that curse into a state. That, or this.
Yeah, this looks good.
Yeah. It looks very scary for Haka.
It does.
I mean, this is points, right? This is quite a bit of points. Because, no, it was points, I guess. It's not going to be. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I almost think you have to take points.
Well, I just wasn't sure that we were going to see that investment at all this game.
That that's a give up magpie buy. That's a this is over Magpie though, I think. It's way too easy to win here. There's already a win in hand right here.
Yeah.
Like this is not what the people want, Haka. The people want a fight. The people want a Colosseum battle to the death.
I
We
wouldn't be
can't be having these give up magpies.
I wouldn't be surprised if Haka just did not realize that the piles were running.
That's possible too.
It's, it is very common when you're just like slightly mentally down because you lost the match and you're just like making all the mistakes.
Yeah, that is certainly possible. Shy on Treasure Trove is really funny.
Yeah.
This board is really funny as well. 5-2 is like not that great here, surprisingly.
I mean, you could buy
Like
a lab for
actually,
5.
you're just farriering here, aren't you?
Um,
Because it's
probably?
guarantees hit 5. You just farrier for 3 here. You skip all the estates. You have 2 coppers on top guaranteed. So your next turn is better. You're just delaying your 5-2 by a turn, except giving yourself slightly better odds. And then you can kind of
Yeah.
get whatever you want. It's kind of like opening that one card, that one treasure card that you buy in Plunder.
Mm, right, buried treasure.
Yeah, buried treasure.
Alright,
Which,
we went off at lightning speed with Haka going for Royal Gary Masquerade and VRSmith going for Treasure Trove and Farrier. So,
yeah, the Royal Galley Masquerade thing is very high rolly.
yeah, it is fantastic when they collide, and that's exactly what
And
happened on turn 3 for Haka.
yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah. To be fair, Royal Galley is an excellent card on this board.
Like it's not enough to win you the game, so I don't see why you would risk it here. Like landing this is nice, but it's by no means a massive advantage. And if you whiff it, you're just behind.
Mm,
I
I don't know
I
if
don't
you're
know.
behind. Like even drawing Masquerade on turn 3, trashing and then playing Royal Galley on turn 4 isn't too bad, right? Like even if you whiff, because you still put the Masquerade in the shuffle.
Yeah.
All right, a drawn deck from Haka.
Yeah. Pretty
Totally
nice.
reasonable. Why
Too
does
bad
Haka
there's
have
no.
an 8th copper? Oh, right, Masquerade.
Yeah. You're gonna farrier for some amount, maybe 3, and then buy like a 5.
That does not work. Farrier costs money, unfortunately.
Yeah, you could buy a 5 and farrier for 3.
All right,
Oh wait.
Farrier for
What am I
one
thinking?
card. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why. I just thought 10, but no, it's only 8. Yeah, I don't think the 5s are exciting enough that I want to buy one yet anyway.
Yeah, I kind of just want more galleys so that we can play more of these terminal cards. Or I guess we can play with Royal Carriage too.
Man, if we get another hero masquerade right on top here, that's gonna be so absurd.
Yeah,
It's a 1 in 4 chance. It's a little
SD.
better to hit an action, but it's like a 1 in 4 chance to just draw mask right here.
Alright, that works too. It's not
Yeah.
as good, but I think
I mean,
it's
it works
fine.
fine. You're gonna play mask twice next turn.
Yeah.
You would have loved to have hit 4 here, but This is fine.
Yeah. What do you buy here? Is it,
Astrolabe.
I guess that sounds very unexciting, though. I guess we need. No, we don't need plus buy. We have plenty of plus buy. Maybe a silver is better.
Yeah, but I don't really want silver
Well, me
because
neither.
I want to connect my royal galleys with my cards and then do torturous stacks is really what I want to do. Silver kind of gets in the way of that.
I mean, the torture stack will just like be giving curses to hands that will get swapped around with masquerade and trashed. So torture is basically an kind of old witch-ish effect here.
Kind of, yeah.
Still very powerful, but
I mean, you kind of can't ignore it though, because
yeah,
if you don't play for it, if you do what VRSmith's doing here, like you better be really fast because you're gonna take a lot of curses.
yeah. I'm not sure what VRSmith is doing. I haven't been looking at that a lot, but
We're doing some weird like treasure but also building thing, which I mean, you have 16 cards in hand. The Royal Galley, Royal Carriage stuff is it's a little loosey goosey for playing a treasure trove, I think, but it might be okay.
I mean, it
I
is
mean, we're here to have fun at this
yeah,
point. I mean, might
it
as
is
well.
what Farrier wants to be playing with a lot of money in the deck. So I
Yeah, I guess if we're doing Farrier, maybe it works out. Priest Mega? I don't know about Priest Mega.
that
Priest Megaturn would be really funny with the Royal Carriage,
I
actually. It would be really funny. And the Farriers give by. Oh my gosh, that would be cool.
yeah, there maybe is something there actually.
I mean, you better do it before the Farriers run out. And you better get Priest soon as well. And you kind of need a more Royal Carriage. It feels like a pipe dream. It's really funny, but it's like the Farriers are going to be gone very soon.
Yeah, VRSmith will definitely be buying one every turn from now on.
We're not even trashing, interestingly. Okay, we trashed one card, but we didn't trash a copper.
I mean, the coppers are just draw neutral until Farriers run out, I guess.
Yeah, so why not just trash one?
Fair point. Right. We do have
All right,
to put some real cards in the deck here, I think.
I hope real cards.
I mean, we can't
I'm
just
looking at
buy
a
a.
royal carriage. I'm looking at a royal galley, two masks. There are some real cards in this deck.
Yeah, we can't just buy a Farrier and overpay for 14. That's what I mean. We're
Yeah.
we're going to have to buy some amount of cards.
Oh my god. They're going for the priest overpay.
It,
Let's
it,
do it. Let's go. Let's go.
it's pretty damn good on this board, right? With uh just being able to trash with Masquerade after Priest and then use that money to overpay just for building.
We're gonna need more royal carriages though to make it happen.
Yeah, going to need a lot more of things in general. And it's a little tough to put cards in the deck when Farrier is in the kingdom.
All right. See,
Oh,
Vera Smith gets it. She understands that we want entertainment. She gets it. She knows that we are here for the show.
yeah. This looks really good, right? We're gonna trash with Priest, then play two masks.
Yeah. You kind of wish you drew your royal carriage here, but you could just do it this turn. Next turn actually. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, and we get to play the treasure trove too.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
literally bottom decking the royal carriage was a little sad.
Oh well. All right. Well,
All right.
that's a lot of money. I think we're going places. Oh.
No, no, I wanted to watch that. Haka, no. I mean, it was over. Yeah,
Yeah, it was very over.
it was super over.
Ooh, Marchland.
So I was completely wrong about it not being uh being a pipe dream. It turns out there was plenty of time.
To be fair, Haka wasn't buying farriers.
Yeah, that's true. I think there could have been more farrier pressure, but oh well. Fellowship of Scribes is kind of funny. You could broker an estate and draw a card. That's cute.
Yeah,
Ooh, we get
that's
to see how good Marchland is on this board. This is a strong Marchland board because there's
right.
kind of nothing happening, so that makes Marchland a little bit better, I think.
I mean, there's Farrier Treasure Trove that worked out pretty well for VRSmith last time.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it does look a lot worse, arguably. Yeah, no, I don't mind just like clicking on Treasure Trove here.
Hmm. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just buy Farrier first. It's the
Hmm.
same result, and you top deck two coppers.
Right. All right, we're doing it again.
It's literally the same result, except you get to top deck two coppers.
Yeah. I mean, maybe VRSmith wants to leave the Farrier in the pile.
Maybe. It seems like thinking like 30 turns ahead. That seems like really
Yeah,
needed.
it's
I don't know.
not ideal, probably.
Maybe VRSmith just wants a sycophant in the deck. Because it does draw a card.
Nope.
But yeah, if we're just going to get a fairy or treasure trove, we might as well just do it in the opposite order.
I don't know. Is there any argument for not top decking the three coppers?
Two copper.
Two coppers. I guess
You could
you're
see your treasure trove a little sooner, maybe.
yeah. I guess you're delay your uh chance to draw like decrease the chances to draw a treasure trove.
Yeah.
So maybe VR Smith is just doing the argument the opposite way. All right.
Uh,
I guess
this
treasure trove.
is
Oh,
interesting. Again, I don't think VR Smith's memeing here. I don't think VR Smith's just doing whatever to get it over with. I think VR Smith's playing for a big farrier overpay. And I
yeah.
think this buy this turn will do a lot of revealing what the plan is.
Hmm.
Because I'm going to assume that VR Smith is going to do a big March land here. So I think what's going to happen is VR Smith's going to do some big farriers, play a bunch of troves, get bigger and bigger hands, and then just like empty all the March lands in one turn. That's what I'm thinking. It's fair. March land is stupid strong if you can rush them all down really quickly, and with the treasure troves and no threat from like
Yeah.
attacks, it looks pretty strong to me.
I mean the thing what I'm thinking about with Marchland is that okay, the first Marchland does cost two on the turn, or
Yeah.
maybe one, but every other one costs five. So you like buying the next ones is pretty pointless, I would think. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, the goal is you have so many golds in your deck at this point that you don't need all of the March lands. You just need to grab like a nice amount of them. Like you just farrier overpay here by 7. Okay. I guess we're farrier overpaying by 5. But I mean, yeah, it's some variant of the March land plan that I was suggesting.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that works.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of just playing for Marshland a lot on boards. It's been really, it's been stupidly effective. Like, you
Hmm.
could score like 80 points in like 14 turns with like minimal support with Marshland. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen some of it in simulations, but I haven't like actually seen it play out in the real kingdom, so I'm interested to see how that works.
Like, I expect another Marshland now.
Is this a Marshland if it costs free?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean,
I kind of just wanted to Farrier overpay for all of the money.
the way VRSmith's doing it right now, I mean, I don't, I don't see why
Yeah, it
he
looks
wouldn't
like
do
it's
it this way.
working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Hakha is.
Hakka's gotten completely outmaneuvered this match,
Yeah. I mean, Hakha
unfortunately.
is just playing for some deck control thing
I think Hakka's
with.
completely lost here. I don't even know what he's doing.
Mm, it's just building a regular deck, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna lose to Marchland.
Yeah, well, the thing that VRSmith's doing does look pretty damn powerful.
I guess Hakka can trash Sycophant here, take coins, do a Fellowship of Scribes draw, and take a treasure trove and do the same thing, but it's just slower. But that might be
Yeah.
what he's trying to do here.
I mean, the big problem for Hakka is just he's playing without Farrier, right? And we're just leaving all the Farrier pile to VRSmith,
Yeah.
and that can never be a good thing.
Yep. And now Hakka can, sorry, VR Smith, she can at any point just completely empty the Marchlands now and just deny Hakka anything. Like,
Yeah.
this turn, for example, already we have 9 plus 6 plus 2. That's 9 plus 8. That's $17 plus the $2. That's 19. That's already like 3 Marchlands. So we're already close to just piling them. And that's
Yeah.
without Farrier revealing more money, like more golds.
And Hakka is perfectly thin, and he is playing like a deck that's going to do things.
Yeah.
So maybe there is a chance, but what Hakka really needs to have is to have Farriers run out before VRSmith can end the game or get
I mean,
50% VP.
this game's completely over. Like, this is the most over game I've ever seen. Like, Hakka can't threaten anything. Hakka can't empty farriers. The farrier stuff does nothing. He has way less golds. He can't threaten marchlands, and he can't really province. And the marchlands will outscore province. It's just over.
Yeah, I'm just like I have a lot less experience with Marshland, and I think Hakka also doesn't have that much experience with Marshland. So
Yeah,
I definitely
it's a
fail
tricky
to
card.
see. Yeah,
It's a tricky card, but
I
the thing
definitely
is
don't. Yeah.
once the marchlands run, you can just start using farriers and buy like estates. It scores really fast.
Mm.
Like, it's only turn what? It's only turn 9, and we're already like, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, even if this was just monolithic treasure trove farrier, it would already be getting close to like multiple provinces, right?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, and Marchland even increases that because Vera Smith now has 6 green cards in the deck, and she could
Mm-hmm.
discard them all. All right, that looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Marchland can just suddenly do like a bunch of skateboard Tony Hawk tricks if you're not careful. Like, getting a buy on Marchland plus the discard is surprisingly really effective
Yeah,
for getting price points A lot of the time when you're going for like money stuff, it's not that hard to hit like 7 or 8, toss 2 or 3, and then get another marchland. So it's not that hard to hit 2 marchlands in a turn, even without like farrier support.
Right. Hakha did empty the farriers.
Yeah. No, that's cute.
So yeah, now VRSmith has to, I guess, win the game, which
You
she
just
will
take
be
all the
able to do.
marchlands and as many estates as you can. I mean,
Hmm, it's probably like some duchies because we don't have enough buys, but yeah. Oh no, never mind.
no, you take 7 estates here. The marchlands will score like crazy, and yeah, I guess you can take a duchy, but
No wait,
you
why does
just take estates.
Sycophant win?
Oh, Sycophant did win, yeah. But yeah,
All
look,
right,
I mean,
Sycophant pile.
it's turn 11, and VRSmith has 58 points.
Yeah, it
Like
is
Marchland is
incredible.
no joke. Marchland is no joke.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna end with VRSmith winning 6-0. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Ginny, for commentating with me.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and I'll see you next time. Bye.